In a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, lived Thomas, a dedicated blacksmith known for his intricate metalwork and his generous heart. Despite his skill and craftsmanship, Thomas struggled to make ends meet. His small, rustic shop was filled with the clinks and clatters of his trade, but his earnings were modest, barely enough to support himself and his young son, David. David was a bright and curious 12-year-old. He spent most of his time in the blacksmith's shop, fascinated by the way his father shaped raw metal into tools and ornaments. Although the work was hard, David loved the craftsmanship and the stories his father told about each piece he created. One particularly harsh winter, the village faced severe hardship. Crops had failed, and the cold winds left many struggling to stay warm and fed. Thomas's blacksmithing work dwindled, and with fewer commissions, the family's resources were stretched thin. David noticed the worry in his father's eyes and felt a growing sense of unease. One evening, as they sat by the dim light of the hearth, David hesitated before asking, "Father, what do you think is the greatest gift someone can give?" Thomas looked at his son, surprised by the question. He put down his tools and gazed thoughtfully into the fire. After a moment of contemplation, he began, "Let me tell you a story from when I was your age." Thomas recounted a time when he was a young boy and his own father, James, was also a blacksmith. They lived in similarly difficult times, struggling to make ends meet. Despite their struggles, James was a man of great integrity and wisdom. One winter, after a particularly grueling season, James came home with a small, simple box wrapped in cloth. He handed it to Thomas with a grave but kind expression. "Inside this box," James said, "is the greatest gift I can give you." Young Thomas eagerly unwrapped the box, expecting something grand. Instead, he found a plain iron key. It wasn't adorned with jewels or crafted from precious metals, but it was carefully made and well polished. "What does this key unlock?" Thomas asked, puzzled and slightly disappointed. James knelt beside his son, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "This key," he explained, "represents the opportunities and choices you will have in life. It is a symbol that with hard work, perseverance, and a good heart, you can unlock any door you set your mind to." Although young Thomas didn't fully understand the meaning of his father's words, he cherished the key as a symbol of hope and possibility. As he grew older, the key became a reminder of his father's love and the belief that he could overcome any challenge. As Thomas finished his story, he reached into his pocket and pulled out the very same key, now worn and weathered with age. He handed it to David, saying, "This key is now yours. It is a reminder that the greatest gift I can give you is the belief in your own potential." David took the key, his eyes misting with emotion. He felt a deep sense of responsibility and gratitude. Inspired by his father's wisdom, David proposed an idea to help their struggling village. "Father, what if we offered to repair the villagers' old tools for a reduced cost? Many can't afford new ones, but we could help them keep their old tools in working order." Thomas, impressed by his son's initiative, agreed. They set to work, spreading the word throughout the village. Soon, villagers brought their old, worn-out tools to the blacksmith shop. Thomas and David worked tirelessly to restore them, finding satisfaction not only in their craft but also in the relief they brought to their neighbors. As the days passed, the shop became a hub of activity. People came not just for repairs, but to share stories, offer support, and forge stronger community bonds. The warmth of the village and the spirit of togetherness helped lift everyone's spirits through the harsh winter. When spring arrived, the village was not only more resilient but also more connected. David continued to work alongside his father, taking on more responsibilities and learning the trade with greater skill and confidence. The key, always close to his heart, was a constant reminder of his father's teachings and the power of perseverance. Years later, when David took over the blacksmith shop, he passed the key down to his own child, along with the story of its significance. The key became a cherished family heirloom, a symbol of the greatest gift, love, wisdom, and the belief in oneself that could be passed down through generations.